Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well wherever it is that you may be around the world. Chelsea scraped smash and grab win against Newcastle 1-0 on the day. Lots to talk about in regards to this game as well. We'll be reviewing, we'll be doing obviously the player ratings. We'll be going through the match stats as well. Everything Chelsea pretty much. But I hope you guys are well and having a delightful day. It's very beautiful where I am today in the UK, not going to lie. 2 seconds, guys. There we go. I'm just trying to, I haven't really prepared myself. Jim, never preparing himself. He's always prepared. We're going to do all that. We're going to go through the game. We'll talk more about the game today. We will talk Roman and Chelsea once news is broken. So if there's any news that is actually broken upon us while we're live, we'll go through that. The lines will be open as well for you guys to get involved and have your say as always as well. But do you know what time it is? Before we move forward, let's cue that intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well. And my gosh, did Chelsea make it hard? Did they make it hard? Was it a great performance overall? Hell no. You know, we're gonna go through that anyway. We're gonna talk about it. We'll talk about individual players' performances as well. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on the overall game today as well. Before we do any of that, I'm gonna go through the chat and see how you guys are getting on. Like I said, if anything does pop up in regards to Roman Abramovich and Chelsea news, I'm on it. Trust me, I've got it open as we speak. I will keep refreshing it. I don't think there's much going to be happening today. We know that the deadline in regards to Roman Abramovich is this week. So in terms of offers from buyers, they will have to put offers in this week for then the decision to be made, whenever that may be. I'm assuming it'll be quite quick as well. So a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about in terms of football, guys, as well. You know, that's the most important thing. But make sure we're smashing that like button. Let's get this likes over 50 likes. We're at 21 already. Thank you very much. Let's close it to 30. If you haven't hit it now. Let's get to 30 likes as soon as possible. Go through the chat quickly. Big up to Nathaniel in the house. I am not modding you because the last time I modded you, you took the piss. Big up to Concierge of Crime as well. Big up to Andre. Bex is in the house. He's saying smash them likes. CFC Times says King Kai Havertz. King Kai Clutch Havertz. Let's have it right. As Johnny would say. Let's have it right. King Kai Clutch Havertz. Big up to Grey Wolf Studios. Says love a classic smash and grab. And it was the ultimate smash and grab yesterday because we did not play well. We were very poor. I did see on social media a lot of people bigging up certain individuals for their performances and said that they played well. No, they didn't. Let's stop cutting corners. Newcastle had the better chances in the game. We just took our chance in that one individual moment of pure class from the man himself, King Kai Clutch Havertz, who, by the way, didn't actually have a great game. Even he had a bit of a sticky game today as well. But we're going to talk about all that. I want you guys in the chat to get involved because we will be doing the player ratings from 0 to 10, as always, like we always do. But let's go through the chat first. How lucky are we to have Super Tommy Tuchel? Listen, Thomas Tuchel is the key to Chelsea Football Club. Not only has he got to navigate this football squad that we currently have and the current players, crop of players that potentially don't really want to be here, as you can see, some of them. But he's also dealing with the pressure of the media, the pressure from the football club in terms of new owners being brought in. There's a lot on Thomas Tuchel's necks at the moment, and he is the key. He is the answer. He is something that Chelsea have to protect. And if I'm the new owner coming into this football club, the first thing I'm doing is making sure that Thomas Tuchel is penned down. Long-term contract, build around that manager. And maybe we'll see, and this is where there might be a difference in terms of the identity of Chelsea Football Club moving forward, is that we pin down Thomas Tuchel, we pin him down, we allow him the time to build an empire, build his own squad, his own, his philosophy's there, but he needs his own players, he needs his own, own certain individuals that are going to improve the system, player profile, midfielders, defenders, striker, if he wants a striker, type of wingers that he wants. Let's build around this guy, Thomas Tuchel. Because I'll tell you something now. He's becoming he's top 3 favourite manager at the moment. He's one of my top 3 favourite managers at the moment at Chelsea Football Club. Not only because of what he's doing on the pitch, don't get me wrong, because I don't think we're playing that well still, but how he presents himself overall, how he presents himself to the media, how he's like the face of Chelsea Football Club in terms of, of everything that's going on at the moment. And huge respect for getting him to come when we did, getting rid of Lampard and bringing him in. And now I think we really do have a manager that we should be building around as well. Big up to Undertaker CFC as well, declared. Big up to you, Top Bins as well. RG, Ridwan, best owner ever. CFC time, big up Gavman. Astrid Dry approves. Dusty Rhodes, big up to you. PJ Artist, nice to see you in house. Who else we got here? Luke Master. He says, let's be happy that we got the win though. Tough match. It was a tough match. And we knew it would be. Newcastle came into this game in great form. And they've done the opposite to what I thought they would do. They set up in what I thought was a 4-5-1, but actually switched to a 3-4-3. And they pressed and they made it hard and we couldn't get out and we couldn't really build up any patterns of play. We couldn't get it quick enough to the forward line. And it was getting to a point where I was waiting for the change. I was like, when is that change going to happen? It wasn't working. The four at the back wouldn't work. I wanted the three and I wanted Mateo Kovacic on the pitch. We'll get into it though. We'll get into it. Athan, big up to you. Big up to you. Who else we got who haven't said hello to? Matty, CFC Matty says Lukaku needs to go. Havertz is the best impact player we've had since Eden Hazard. Do you guys agree with CFC Matty's comments right there in regards to King Kai Havertz? Look, listen, he's miles away. He's quite far away in terms of getting to the level that Eden Hazard was at Chelsea. But he's with Kai Havertz now. The thing with Kai Havertz is the consistency. It's can he continue what he's doing now? Continue to push on through the end of this season, help this football club achieve and win maybe cup competition, keep us getting in Champions League, and then going into next season from day dot that when we kick off and supposedly Tuchel picks him to play, if he continues with that form, he takes off. Because the one thing with Kai Havertz that we still have to wait and see, and that could be to do with his age element, is that it's the consistency. But that should come. And I do believe that will come with him. I'm starting to see improvement in his performances, his improvement in his own, everything about him. His own, the way he, not only the way he plays the game, but he's a lot more aggressive. His mentality is a lot stronger. He's becoming an iconic figure in stepping up when your football club needs you. And that was the one thing that we suffered so much when we lost Eden Hazard. Because when we lost Eden Hazard, we were very reliable on him. Let's not lie. It was very like Eden Hazard, is he playing? He was our go-to player. I looked at the bunch of players that we bought in under Lampard, the 200 million we spent through that first season. And I thought to myself, we haven't got that. We haven't got that type of player that can just get us out of crap. If one's bad, they're all bad. It's not 10 players are bad and one's awesome. Do you get what I mean? Barring Thiago Silva, who's always awesome. But, we don't have that player that when you're down and you're not playing well, like we was yesterday, struggling, just to step up. Even if they're not playing, that's great. Just step up and just be the difference in games. And that's what Kai Havertz done yesterday. And he is starting to look more consistent, but we need to see it moving forward. We need to see more of that moving forward. Big up to Josh as well. Alfred, nice to see you in the house, man. Nice to see you in house. RC as well. Blue Lounge is in the house. Big up to my guy Mo. He's saying get the likes up. Please do so. We've only got 30 likes. We should be on 40, 50 likes. Now there's over 60 people here. 9 minutes in as well. So big up to everyone that's here. He's not a Havertz, more of a Thomas Muller. He's not a Havertz. Who are you talking about, Hassan? Who are you talking about? Big up to Sumaya as well. I'm ashamed to admit that how many times I've rewatched the Havertz goal. I have as well. It was just so silky and class, man. And the timing of it was just impeccable. Absolutely impeccable. Can we leave Lukaku alone? He barely played yesterday. Kai is the number one striker. No need to keep piling on. He's still a member of this team. I agree. But he did come on. And I thought he was really poor. At some points, I thought to myself, is he actually a footballer? Like, generally, like his movement is... look, the only thing Lukaku is very good at doing, and I'll admit this, is just distracting players because he's big, isn't he? He makes it hard. He makes it hard for people. And I think by doing that, it creates more space for Havertz. So Havertz is not, I felt Havertz was very isolated yesterday. Lukaku comes on, he becomes the lamppost, he becomes a bit of a nuisance and that helps. So, If there's one positive in Lukaku, there you go. Mentality looks so much sharper now. Shy Havertz looks like a myth. It was always going to happen, man. There was a lot of people in the chat. There was a lot of people in the chat that who've known me for a long time on GNA TV, is always stuck behind Kai Havertz, even when people were saying that we should sell it. Because I can see the talent in that. In that one player, you just see it. You see it. And for me, I knew he had it. It was just whether or not he was going to be consistent with it and step up with his goals. And we've seen him do it under Bayer Leverkusen, scored many goals over there. I know he can score goals, so this ain't new for me. Big up to Werner in the house. Harsh as well says, big up to you, man. He's not the level. Dan Burn was constantly on Kai's neck all game. He still put up a fight on the 90th minute fighter. Yep, true. Jem, this is a super harsh on Lukaku. That is, well, I don't see any other much use of him at the moment. I'm just being honest. I don't. Matthew, big up to you as well. Credit to Tuchel for the subs. Yeah, and I'm saying Lukaku did have an impact, but in terms of actually occupying a defender, that was about it. Didn't really do much else, but it is what it is. Big up to Chelsea fan as well. Mary's in the house. Is probably the reason Kai Havertz was struggling was because Burns was man-marking him alone. That's true. On him, wherever he went. Timo was absolutely shocking yesterday as well. Absolutely shocking. Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, I don't think there's anything new. I've got it in the backgrounds here. So if anything breaks in terms of Roman, owners, Chelsea, I'll bring it up. But I haven't seen anyone come out yet, Fraser. Nothing new today. I want to see. I'm talking about things that are happening as we speak while I'm live, because it will come to the top of my thing. So nothing yet. So we will stick onto the game. Over 50 likes. Let's get there. Subscribe if you're new as well. We're on a road to 5k subscribers, which is huge for this channel. The channel is growing at some immense rate at the moment, and it's all down to you guys. Big up to everyone in the chat. But we are going to delve into the game. First, we're going to look at match stats, and we're going to do the player ratings as well. Get you involved. Open up the lines. Get your thoughts and opinions on the game as well. But in terms of stats, because it wasn't a great performance by Chelsea. It really wasn't. And when you look at the stats, even though we dominated in possession, which kind of surprises me. I didn't know that Newcastle only had 27% because we didn't really create much. We only had 8 shots the whole game with 3 on target. For me, I only felt like we had 2. Literally, well, I was close. 2 on target. The other lot were just off wide. 4 off target, 3 on. So, I don't know. It was just a weird... I mean, our passing completion rate was good. We had more corners than them to their 2. They were offside more than us. We had more tackles. We won more tackles than them. They won more aerial duels than us on the day. Both committed 17 fouls each. But when you look at the overall game, and I'm going to break it down from my perspective, I saw the 4 at the back, and I was a little bit shocked. And then I understood it, because there was no Aspie, and there was no Reece James. So I kind of understood it. I knew that Hakim Ziyech was going to kind of play, even though I didn't add him in because I've been told that he was out of the team. Obviously, that wasn't the case. But we played the 4. We didn't play Christian Pulisic. He made a big decision not to play Mateo Kovacic. And I keep stressing that whatever system we play, whether it's the 3 or the 4, it's important that Mateo Kovacic is in that team at the moment. And we saw it yesterday. His movement off the ball, he's progressive, he looks forward, he drives. That run that he done when he ran through 2 or 3 of their players and he opened up the play, that was what we was crying out for about 70 minutes. The fact that we didn't have a player that could just pick the ball up and run with it. And that's why I partially wanted Christian Pulisic to enter. Because the first half, let's just really get into it. We were slow. We were lethargic. I thought our midfield was poor. I know I saw a lot of people talking about the Jorginhos and the Kantes as well. They were both not great. Jorginho was out of position most of the times, always looking for that comfortable pass sideways. Kante was losing the ball every time he got it. And even when he did run forward, he wasn't releasing the ball quick enough. And then I look at the forward line and I think to myself, Timo Werner was non-existent again. Wasn't involved, didn't offer much. Kai Havertz was isolated because he was coming deep all the time to try and find the ball, because every time he even tried to make the run behind, he wasn't finding it until the last minute of the blooming, or a couple minutes before the end of the game when Jorginho decides to do that pass. Hakim Ziyech, I didn't think was great yesterday. Too many touches on the ball, couldn't really beat his man. His crossing wasn't beating the first defender. It was only that one to Kai Havertz on the head where he should have scored that, where it actually hit our target. And we just looked out of rhythm. And then we talk about the defence, and I thought Rudiger had a good game. I thought Christensen held his own. But the fullbacks just, when you play the 4, if we don't have players that can overlap the Ziyechs and the Werners, then it makes it very hard for us to be creative. And when you have Malang Sarr and Chalobah, who are meant to be overlapping, not doing their job, then it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day because we just don't have any build up of patterns of play. We don't link up well enough from defence to midfield. The midfield doesn't want to play the ball quick enough forward to the front 4. Mason Mount, even though I think he's an 8, he had an average game yesterday. The whole structure wasn't right. And I take my hats off to Newcastle, because what Newcastle did was they shocked us. Because when you play a team at Stamford Bridge, 9 times out of 10, they come to sit. They come to sit and they come to make it hard. And I thought that's what they were going to do. But they didn't. They were aggressive. They pinned back Chalobah and Sarr. Yeah. And every time we tried to play out, we kept getting caught. And the reason they pressured Sarr and Chalobah, which was clever from Eddie Howe, is because he knew that they weren't comfortable on the press, getting in their face if there's no options. Sarr looked a little bit dodgy every time he got the ball. And Chalobah, just, I don't know, Chalobah just had an up and down game. But I don't really point fingers with it. I mean, you can look at him and criticise him, but first season, he's going to be having teething problems. I expect that for Chalobah, and asked him to play in the back 4. He couldn't really get forward. And when he did get forward, he wasn't really sure on how to overlap properly, whether to just sit behind Ziyech. And why you get the best out of Ziyech in games in the 4 is because if Aspie and Reece James are on the pitch, they're always beside him when we're on the attack. He's not on his own trying to take players on. If you want Hakim Ziyech to pick the ball up and start running at players and dribble around them, he's not going to do that. He needs that overlap. He needs that overlap. He needs that combination. He needs someone to come deep with him, play cut 1-2s, create space for himself, and then use that left foot to get the ball across. And that's what was giving us problem. We just didn't look right. And I was crying at half time for a free. Even though we didn't have the players for the free. Don't get me wrong. We didn't have Aspie and we didn't have Reece James. I just didn't feel comfortable with it. And even when we went into the second half and we continued to play with that 4, it just never looked comfortable. And you got to say that Newcastle, they stuck to their game plan and they had the better chances overall. We took our chance at their end, but we never looked any fluid. And Mateo Kovacic comes on the pitch and we look better. He's then driving forward with the ball. He's in moving the ball quicker. He's then trying to offer an option. He's trying to, get us out of the muck because the defence is obviously not comfortable with receiving the ball so deep and then trying to get forward in a 4. I don't think, personally, from what I saw. And that's just because our fullbacks weren't comfortable. And then we started breaking through and then, we looked better. Lukaku came on and, just was Lukaku for me. He didn't do much, but was a bit of a nuisance. And he took Mason Mount off, didn't he, for Kovacic? And, we were lucky in a way, a moment of genius. And when I say, look, Jorginho's ball was great. It was impeccable. It was on the spot. Yeah. What frustrates me with him is you get yourself in them positions all the time and you look forward and you see them players like Kai Havertz and whoever's up front doing them runs consistently. That should tell you to do it more. The fact that you can do it, do that more. Yeah, we don't have to always play the easy pass, Jorginho. Yeah, play that ball. And he did, and it was beautiful. And the touch from Kai Havertz, the touch to bring it down in front of him and then finish it in the way that he did and place it into that bottom corner, that is a world-class finish. Because not only did he didn't have time to think, he brought it down and his next initial touch of that ball was a shot. And the touch was so good that he set himself so nice in front of the goal. And then it was just about him putting it past the goalie. And it was a great finish. It was a great finish. For a guy that even struggled in the game overall, because I felt that the system struggled, stepped up when we needed him to get the 3 points and then alleviate the pressure that is Arsenal at the moment, because they are on our backs. And I don't like talking about Arsenal, but it's true. Arsenal are there. Arsenal are whatever, are on a little bit of a run. We have still got to play them, but we have to see We'll have to see what happens. I'm just refreshing my Twitter page as well, just to see if there's any news. Showed. Yeah, no, nothing yet, guys, nothing yet. But we have got this comment here from Sasuke again. Thank you again for the donation, bro. Always a donator of this channel. You took out Free and Hyundai from the shirts in the back. That's awesome, dude. Where can I buy one? Love it. I didn't take it out. Do you know what I did? I just turned my shirt inside out. I turned my shirt inside out and then I just hanged it up. I didn't do anything else. That's how I'm going to the Brentford game, the Brentford home game. I'm going to wear my shirt like that. It will look weird, but I don't care. I'm wearing it like that. Some people saying, don't do that. Just go. It's not that bad. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Is there a possibility that looked at where the foul happened rather than where the Newcastle player fell? And I know there was that penalty incident. And, let's be serious. On other days, that is given. Some days they're given. Sometimes some days they're given and some days they're not given. And the fact that it wasn't given doesn't, it is what it is. It happens in football. And this is the problem I keep saying. The consistency in football is gone. The people that are using the technology are not consistent in giving decisions. And that's why we're going to continuously have these problems where some days that type of challenge will happen next week. Let's just say another game will happen like that, where we'll make a foul and it'll be given and they'll revert back to the Chelsea game and go, but do you remember the Chelsea game? They didn't even give it for that. And it was the same thing. Consistency. Not Chelsea's fault. It's the people that are in control of it. For me, I thought it was a little bit harsh to give a penalty. He wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't in front of goal. He wasn't stopping a chance from him scoring. He just fell on the floor. He literally just fell on the floor. Havertz should have had a hat-trick. He could have with the header and that and the one-on-one, but the one-on-one hit the bar. Good shot, to be fair, but hit the bar. More time on the ball to make decisions. To a degree, I hear that. I do hear that as well. Right, we're going to do the ratings, but I'm just quickly going through it. Let's keep focused in the chat. Keep the focus in the chat to the game, guys. What is everyone talking about? They're talking about the American. I know it's hard not to get sidetracked with the news in regards to what's going on with the owners and that. Don't get me wrong, but there is no news at the moment. Whatever I told you yesterday in that chat when we were sitting here is where we are today. There's nothing new. There's literally nothing new for me to share with you guys yet. But if it does break while we're doing it, I will bring it up for you guys. 100%. Big up to D Stretch in the house. 23 minutes in, over 115 of you here. How many likes have we got? 56 likes. Let's all hit that like button if you haven't already. I want to try and close that gap to 100 likes or 75 likes. How quick can we get to the 75 likes? Yeah, but Fraser, I'm seeing your comment here. See it. I'm not going to check that. I've already seen it. It's nothing. It's nothing important for me to share yet. Yeah, I know. But again, we know that, that there was a meeting between Saudi Arabia Media Group and Chelsea's, and the government and Chelsea's whatever, and they're trying to get a deal done. I've seen that, but then again, I'm waiting because this week is deadline week. This is the week where all the official bids have to come in. This is when we'll start maybe seeing who are the 2 or 3 that Rain Group pull through. Maybe we'll then start finding who's the front runner. We haven't had any front runners yet. All we're getting is that people are all trying to put their bids in. That's all it is. There's no leaders. There's no leaders or front runners. Like Nick Candy said yesterday on Sky Sports when he was walking to the game, it's important for the team to be in the right hands. It's important that we continue in the way that we have been. And it was good. The way he spoke was true. That's what we need. Please, no Americans. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into the ratings. I want you guys to get involved in the ratings as well. And then we're going to open up the lines and allow people to get involved and have their say as well. We're going to start with Edouard Mendy. Another clean sheet for him. Good save from, was it a shot? I think it was, where he got down to his left. Other than that, didn't have much to do, especially in the second half. Another clean sheet for the man. Continues to be our main solid goalkeeper and will be for a little while, I think. He's a 7. He's always a 7 for me. He just stays at a 7 because he doesn't have much to do. It is what it is. Sosa says good save, 7.5. I'm going with a 7 for Mendy. It's just the average that I think is for him because he done his job. 7, 6. Everyone's getting in the ratings now as well. 8, 6, 5 out of 10 for him as well. 7 for him. 8. Nick Candy should team up with the Saudis since Bowley has the Swiss guy. Yeah, can you imagine? I don't think the Saudi team need him, mate. To be honest, his kicking was pretty bad. I think that's being a bit harsh. Not gonna lie, a little bit harsh. 7, 6, 7, 7. All right, cool. Let's move from Edouard Mendy. Not much to talk about. There is a lot to talk about on the players today because it wasn't a great performance, and we're literally gonna go through them and highlight them because there was personal performances that let down the team yesterday. Personal performances from certain individuals that just weren't at the level we needed yesterday. Malang Sarr. Now, I don't mind Malang Sarr in the back four. I think he does an okay job defensively. You know, going forward, we struggle. Do we benefit from him in this system? Yes and no. What Malang Sarr allows us to do is play the four because we didn't have a left back that could play there and do a job to a degree. He can do that job to a degree, but from an offensive aspect, he's just not good enough. So we don't actually, even though we benefit from him, from that instance, we still don't benefit from him because he don't offer anything going forward. So we end up suffering a little bit in the system because we're not allowed to, we haven't got that offensive spark with him. So, you know, big up to TJ Gamer as well. Nice to see you, my guy. Keep following what Bex is saying. Get to 80 likes, guys. We're only at 69. Everyone hits that like button. We will get to 100 soon. I'd love to be at 100 before I get to the end of these ratings. If we can do that, that would be great. 6, 6.5, 1, 3, 4, 6, 5, 5. Not his fault, but he isn't cut out for the position. I don't think he's not being cut out for the position. I just think Newcastle's game plan was very good. They made it hard. They didn't give us space. They didn't give us room to be able to do what we need to do. I would say it was probably a 5. I'll probably say a 5. 7, it's not a 7 for me. 5. Yeah, we did keep a clean sheet, but we suffered. You know, it wasn't very good offensively. You know, defensively we were okay, but we were still losing the ball in certain areas from the defence. So I don't know, Josh. Like, I don't think a 7's the right. I think a 5's the best shout for me. I'm going for a 5. I think all you guys are agreeing. What he said. It's not about what he did wrong. It's about what I just said. I don't think he offers. Even though I like the 4, I think it's important that we have overlappers, and I don't think Malang Sarr can do that. So we end up still suffering from him because he doesn't really have that offensive option in him. You know, he can do a job. He can, you know, he'll cover and he'll defend well. Defensively, he can be a little bit shaky sometimes with his passing. You know, but overall, it's a bit of a weird one. For me, he was a 5. Anything between a 5 and a 5.5 for Malang Sarr. We move. Antonio Rudiger, I'm going to just be honest, straight up for me, he was a 7. 7.5. 7. I'm 7. He was doing what he always does. Progressing forward, taking the ball forward. Even when the midfield wouldn't, he was the furthest guy trying to create for the forwards. And, you know, his passing was very good. And, you know, his covering was decent. He done his job. You know, Antonio Rudiger's always a solid 7 for me. He's what he is. We have to get him tied down. We have to get him tied down. None of this mucking around anymore, Chelsea Football Club. Get him to sign the paper. Get him to sign the paper. But yeah, he had a good performance in the back four. Cannot complain whatsoever. Everyone's saying 7, 7.5. Passion and drive, 8 immense for me. So that's fair enough. I'm going for a 7. 7 out of 10 they do. Yeah, they do, Fraser. I've seen that as well. I've seen that. 7.5 as well. 8. Yeah. Not much again to say about Antonio Rudiger. Andreas Christensen. Now, was he as good as Antonio Rudiger? He done his job. He didn't do anything wrong. He had a little... he had a good game. He done what he needed to do, you know. But was it anything amazing? No. You know, is Barcelona looming in his back of his mind? Yes and no. The little grasshopper run that he did at some point. Bridgerton is going, 7.5. It's hard to give Bridgerton a lot higher than a 7.5 because he's leaving that football club, man. But on a serious level, he had a good game this day. I'm going to give him a 7 as well. I think him and Rudiger are both very good in this game today. Funeral chat is coming for sure. Christensen's 7, very solid. 7, big up to Seppers in the house as well. Guys, keep smashing that like button as well. 73 likes. Let's get to 100 as quickly as we can. 6, 6.5, 7, 5 because he's a snake. Is what CFC Matty's saying. 5 because he's a snake is what Matty's saying. 7, Christensen gets 7. Saudi, same as Rudy. Yeah, same for me. 7, AC Penitentiary. Anyway, moving from the Barcelona lover to Trevor Chalobah. Now, out of all of the back four, I would say he struggled the most. I think he still had a good game, an okay game, but you could tell that he's probably more comfortable in a 3 than he is a 4. Now, I wanted to see him in a 4 because we hadn't seen it. Yesterday, we got it. And to be honest, it was a challenging test for him. It wasn't like playing in a back 4 where you had all the ball and they weren't really pressing because that would have been fine for him. This was a challenge because Newcastle were getting in his face. Newcastle were targeting him in the game because they knew every time he got... If you notice, Christensen picks the ball up, they didn't press. As soon as the ball was received to Chalobah, they hunted him like that. They closed the angles. Not only could he not play it through the midfield, he couldn't really get it forward because everyone was just man marking each other. You know, they were man marking us across the pitch and it just wasn't that space. And, you know, he hasn't got that kind of Reece James-esque where, that Reece James-esque where he can just like barge him off the ball and then make a little darting run. And because that darting run is like he's lost his man, then drags another player out of position, then the space opens up. He's not that type of player. It's like he gets the ball and it's like, I need to pass it quickly, you know, because he's just not comfortable in trying to run around the player. That's not his game. I don't blame him. He's not there to do that. But, you know, there's a difference between a Reece James and maybe even an Aspie to a degree. Because Aspie, you know, he'll get the ball and try and, do something with it to a degree, even maybe more than what Trevor Chalobah does. But Chalobah for me was a 5. I'm not going to cut corners. I thought he was a 5, you know, and that's not because I don't like him. I do like Chalobah. I just expect more from him. You know, I just expect more from him. Was solid again, was our highest rated player in the back. I disagree with that. I'm sorry. He was no way near the height for me. Bex cracks me up, man. She's always on it. 5.5, 5.5, 4.5. First thing I do, Bex, to be fair, Josh always does. I don't even have to question Josh. 5. 2 or a 2.5 because Saul was a 3.5. Some people were really heavily critical of him. 4.5, Jim, it was a penalty. No, it wasn't because it wasn't given. 4.5, 5.5, 2, 5. I'm going with a 5. You know, I'm going with 5. I do love Chalobah, but at the end of the day, he didn't have the greatest of games yesterday. You know, he was asked to play in the position that he's not comfortable in. First time he's played as a right back, and Newcastle pressed very well and made it very, very hard. So for me, it's a 5. Yeah, him and Salah are a 5, I'd say. We move on to N'Golo Kante. Now, I thought him and Jorginho weren't that good. I know a lot of people felt that, you know, they were okay. I thought they were below what they should have been. I think Kante was better in the second half in the way that he drove forward with the ball and then created pockets of space, but he just doesn't release the ball quicker and it's just not his game. But, you know, even that hard-working Kante of shutting the ball down and getting in their faces, even that wasn't really working against this Newcastle team for me. You know, usually Kante will take 2 players out and then that space will be created because he's just so superhuman. Do you know what I mean? He's just like an immortal. Like he does some mad things on his day. But yesterday, we didn't really benefit. The word I used, especially at the end of the first half, was that he was ineffective. He was ineffective. We didn't really benefit much from him. You know, he wasn't shit. I'm not sitting here saying he was really bad, but he just wasn't Kante. Does that make sense? Like, he just wasn't for me. I think a 6.5. I think a 6.5. You know, that's where I would go with it. Big up to Nathaniel in the chat as well. Sharari says 7. Kante was good. 8. I don't know, Kai, man. I don't think he was. I'll probably go with a 6 or a 6.5. 7.5, 8, 6.5. Look, I think the one thing that we have to understand, guys, is that even though we won yesterday and it was a smash and grab, we didn't really play well. We can't be sitting here going 8, 7s, 9s. He was this, he was that. Because we had no flow to our game. Newcastle were better than us from 0 to 90 minutes, I felt. We didn't create enough. We didn't create enough. We didn't really have shots against the goalie. He was like Mendy, could have just sat down and chilled. Our defence and midfield was struggling to do anything with it. Not saying that Newcastle did much. They had just had the better opportunities for me, where they could have maybe scored before Kai Havertz did. But I don't know, man. 6 for me, I'll say out of 6, 6.7, 6.5, 9, 6.5. We're 20 away from 100 likes, guys. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Yeah, but this is deceiving, and this is why I keep saying to people, don't always look at stats. You have to use your eyes. We were not good yesterday. We wasn't. Yeah, we had that much. I'll give you an example, Josh. Now you brought that up, right? They had that much possession, and we had 70% plus, yeah, possession, but we only had 3 shots on target. We had 70% possession, but we only had 3 shots on target. This is why I say to people, don't always look at the stats. It's like you have to use a bit of eye test as well, and you know what I mean. And that's what I'm saying. The stats back that we didn't create anything really. We had 3 shots on goal the whole game in 90 minutes at home against Newcastle. It's not good enough. It generally just isn't good enough for me. But we got the win. Smash and grab. I don't mind smash and grabs. The thing is, and Beck's brought it up on Twitter, if we were top of the league and we won that, we'd be saying it's a sign of champions. It's true. But we're not in top of the league. And it ain't a sign of champions, because we've seen these signs throughout the season quite often with us. And we've actually drew a lot of games because of this, because of playing like we did yesterday. So yes, we won yesterday, but there has been games where we've been punished for it. And that's what I'm saying. It's not always what we say. But anyway, let's move on, because I want to get you guys involved as well. Jorginho. Where are you, Jorginho? Let me just check and see if there's any news at the same time as well. What are we looking at here? Oh, Pies has tagged something of Khalid in his name. He's put down a proud Chelsea fan in his name, as if that's a sign. It could be, but he's always been a Chelsea fan, so I wouldn't look into that too much, guys. No, nothing. Nothing, guys, nothing. J5. The pass was beautiful, but I'm going to break it down, really. Again, J5. Again, I thought... I know we have a lot of player agendas, and I just generally don't. I am going to say how I feel about it. But some people may disagree with what I'm about to say. But what frustrates me with Jorginho is that he isn't a DM. He isn't, for me. He's very good at building up the play and keeping the ball when you're dominating games. Which, all right, 71% possession shows we would. But at any moment where we're on a press or against a team that's not giving us that time on the ball, and they get in our faces and they make it hard, he suffers. And that flow that Jorginho brings and that control that Jorginho brings starts to go like that for me. And look, that pass that he done at the end of the game was top class, and I thank him for it, because we wouldn't have won the game for that. Doesn't do it enough. There was a number of times where he got the ball in the first half, and I want him to be progressive. I want him to do that quick ball in between where Mount and Ziyech were playing it, and he would just go sideways or sometimes backwards. There was moments where the defense would get the ball, and I watched him. I was really watching him. Eye test. We'll get the ball in defense, and because we were playing a 4-1-4-1 yesterday, guys. So you do know that. It was a 4-1-4-1. Kante was pressed a lot higher, so he wasn't coming deep to receive the ball. The only one that could receive the ball was Jorginho. Jorginho, every time the ball got played into defence and they looked up, right, they were looking at Jorginho. He wasn't moving. He was jogging. He wasn't sprinting to pick the ball here and then play it or turn around and play it quickly forward, and try and beat his man. I know he hasn't got the pace and stuff, but it just didn't work because not only is he not quick enough, I don't think his actual style of play is to get the ball and quick go, pass it quickly forward. It's get the ball and I'll play it sideways again. And then I'll go and meet that ball again and I'll play it backwards. And then when I get the ball again, I'm going to go to the other way. I'm going to play it sideways. And then I'm going to get the ball again, I'm going to go sideways. And when he does get the ball and looks forward, he usually tends to drag it back and turn his body. And he done it so many times in the first half. And him and Kante, and I said that Kante was ineffective. He was ineffective. We didn't benefit from him in that first half. In the second half, he picked up a bit when Mateo Kovacic come on. Why? Because there was more space. And Kovacic dropped deeper to link the play with him, and pick the ball from him. And then drive forward with the ball. So, yeah, I think Jorginho does benefit when Kovacic is on the pitch. I think Chelsea benefit more when Mateo Kovacic is on the pitch. But him and Kante yesterday, it didn't work for me. It wasn't great to watch. So, yeah, I would give him the same as Kante, a 6. 6, 5, whatever you want to give him. Maybe a little bit less. But then I can't because he got us the goal. So I think a 6 is a fair shout. 4, 7, 6, Gem is a lot of a crackhead in the chat. J5 is a 7. Well, look, is Lukaku he was never a 7. I'm sorry. I mean, everyone's eye test is different, but for me, Jorginho he was not a 7 yesterday. No worries, Daniel. Nice to see you here, my man. Nice to see you. Jorginho began to frustrate me a lot recently. 70% possession means nothing if we aren't being progressive with the ball and finding line-breaking passes. That is it there. What I was just explaining to you guys is what Bex has just said to you right there. It is the line-breaking passes. It is the way that he created that goal for Kai Havertz. Do it more. You've got the ability to do it. You're our best passer in midfield. Be more progressive. Don't always want to slow the game down. Don't always want to go sideways. No, this system's not going to get better with certain personnel, unfortunately. And I know some people don't want to hear that in the team, but it's the truth. I want us to be like here. I want our standards to be that high. We have to be. We're Chelsea. I don't know Hakim Martin. I really don't know. I hope we keep Rudiger, and I hope we bring Jules Koundé in, and then we look to maybe sort out a Tchouaméni and maybe get rid of some of the Werners and maybe even the Lukaku's at this rate. I don't know. I really not sure, mate. But big up to you, my man. Big up to you. Chance after chance against Newcastle. They have the best defensive record since 2022. Well, they didn't, Pedro. They didn't concede any goals in 2022, which is a good mark for them. But if you look at the way they played a 3-4-3. They play the way Chelsea play. Press high, make it hard, white man mark, don't give the space. We could have matched that system if we had Aspie and Reece James, and I think the space would have been there more, even more so, personally. Let's move. I'm talking too much. Talking too much about one player. Who else have we got? I ain't gonna rate Mateo Kovacic because he only came over 20 minutes. But the only thing I will say in terms of Mateo Kovacic is that he was different class when he came on. He made that difference. He made us look better. Actually, I am going to rate him because he was important. He was important. Let's bring him up. He was effective, is the word. And I was crying for it at half time. Bring him on. Play him. Let's get this going. We need that progressive pass. We need that to work. Like, we need him. We need him in this system. It doesn't matter how. We will be clicks. We'll be inviting the rest of the panel in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes time, roughly. 5-10 minutes time. The link will be in the chat. You guys can get involved. But are we at 100 likes? No. We're at 11 likes. So once we get to 100 likes, which I should have been finished by then, the link will be put in the chat. And then we'll get you guys in and get your thoughts and opinion. As always, 7. Yeah, for me, he was better than Kante and Jorginho. 7. Yeah, he's just class, man. Jem, please, I beg you, when you go watch Chelsea, please tell Jorginho to play more of them over the top balls, please, like yesterday. Well, that's what I'm saying, mate. That's what I've been saying for a long time with Jorginho. Anyway, we move because I want to get you in. I want to go to the forward line. Hakim Ziyech. Where is he? Ziyech! Hakim! Hakim! Hakim Ziyech, guys. What are we saying about Hakim Ziyech today? Or yesterday? I don't think he was great. Romans Empire, big up to you, my man. He says hit that like button. The lines are going to be open soon as well for you guys. I thought Hakim Ziyech was a 5. There you go. I don't think he was that good. I don't think we benefited from him. I don't partially blame him because he needs the overlap. I keep crying about it. He needs to have someone that can overlap for him to be more effective. When you don't give him that overlap, you're then asking him to take a player on. You're asking him to be direct. You're asking him to drag play. That ain't him. You know, and even when he did make a little bit of space for himself to cross the ball, some of his crosses were poor. You know, the Havertz one was maybe the only one I can think of which was on the money, on his head, and he should have scored, and maybe would have had an assist on that basis. Don't get me wrong. But 5.5, maybe I'm being too harsh. 5.5. I don't know. 5. Gray was saying 6.56. Nathaniel thinks he was good. I don't think so. 6, 5, 5. I think 5, 6, 6. Everyone's saying they've got 7s. We've got a bit of everything here. 6.2. Exactly. And we haven't, when you ain't overlappers, then you can't partially blame him because you're asking him to do something that he's not comfortable in doing again. That's why I said the system didn't benefit the team again because of certain individuals and personnels. It is what it is. 6, 6, 6, 6. For me, it was a 5, man. It was a 5, but there's not much more to say because he hasn't played many minutes recently. Should we talk about Money Mace? Money! If you shout out Money Mace amount loud enough, you might find a certain man pop up. Certain man pop up. Where is he? Money Mace. Money Mace rating is what we're up to next. I want to hear it. I want to hear this Money Mace. Money! Money Mace, what are we saying? Oh, free! 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 They're going in, man. I've just texted Johnny. I said, Johnny, free for a Mason Mount, mate. Don't have it. Don't have it, Johnny. 6. Bang average. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 5. 5. 6. 2.5. Just got a 2.5. We just got a 2.5, Johnny. I'm telling him. Oh, my. What the hell, man? Money Mace is getting mudded. He's getting absolutely mudded. Minerals pop up in Sky Sports News. I see that, Fato. I see that. Big up to you. 4, 5, 5. He was sitting beside me yesterday. I know. I saw it. 6. Ah, here he is. He's here. Money. Here he comes. He's just managers. 7 out of 10. Never below. 7 out of 10. He's getting freeze, Johnny. He's getting freeze. They were mudding him. 4s, 5s, 5, 3, 5. Johnny jumps in with the quick 7 and dips. Those are proper minerals. Johnny actually showed up when Mount's name came up. Yeah, because I just messaged the group and said he's getting mudded. And then Johnny just comes out of nowhere, free. Look, listen, I don't think Mason Mount had the greatest game yesterday. I'm not going to sit here. Johnny, I know you might be in the chat, but he wasn't great. Even though I still think he's playing his best position, which is an 8. I don't think he's a forward. And I don't think it was just him. I just think the system suffered massively. You know, it just didn't work. It wasn't working and we were too slow. He wasn't moving the ball quick enough. He couldn't really get involved. You know, he's just I'm going to be honest, he's not the same Mount as what we saw last year, from what I've seen. His outputs are there, but then you look at over half of his goals that have been scored against Norwich. You know, but in terms of his overall performance, I mean, Tuchel took him off. Maybe that was for Lille, though, Johnny, yeah? It wasn't for anything else. It was just for Lille. But Tuchel took him off, and I don't think he was great. You know, I'm going to be honest. If I'm giving Ziyech a 5, I can only give him probably the same. 5. You know, these lot are giving him 3s and 2s. 4, 5, 2, 2. Big up to Nick Blue as well. I think he's a 5, and that's pushing it. That's probably pushing it. That was pushing it. All right, we're going to open up the lines now, guys. I just need to do 2 more ratings. One being Timo Werner. This is going to be very quick. 2. It's actually 1.5. Sorry, Fator. Fator, if you're in the chat, mate. Timo Werner was shit. He was so shit yesterday. He's become non-existent. He's become non-existent, mate. He has become non-existent. He has become non-existent. I don't know what's happened to Timo Werner, but he was poo. He's getting ruined. 2, 1, minus 6,000, 3, 1, 4. He was never a 4. 3, 4, 0, 4. He was bad. He was bad. I'm not sticking up for that. That was he was non-existent. And when you think about Timo Werner, I said this yesterday in the chat. Someone, I think he's ready to leave Chelsea. I think he's mentally shot. I think I genuinely think he's mentally done. He's finished. I don't think he has that in him anymore. Like, he just doesn't look interested. He looks slower. How can someone whose strength is to be quick then look so slow? He looks so slow. He pulls out of tackles. He doesn't offer anything. And it's weird because even when he was being scapegoated, I could kind of still stick up for him because at least he still created. Do you know what I mean? Or made a run or created. He was effective in some sort of way. Now he's just becoming. It's like he's been talking to Lukaku. He's been sitting there talking to Lukaku and saying, "Should we just not do nothing anymore? Should we just be shit?" I don't know. He's just poo. Over 200 of you here right now, guys. Make sure you smash the like button. I want over 100 likes. The lines are going to open after the Kai Havertz rating as well. But Minerals has turned up on the back of Timo Werner. What has happened to this guy, mate? He's become Lukaku 2.0. Non-existent.
What's happening? How are we doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. We're talking about Timo Werner. What's happened to him the last 2 times?
Listen, Timo's lost his minerals, bruv. He's lost his minerals, mate. I mean, yesterday, Mace suffered because Timo was on his side for the majority of that first half. And in the second half, I don't know if anyone noticed that Tuchel switched Ziyech, or it might have even been in the first half. He switched Ziyech, I think back in the first half, he switched Ziyech for Werner because Mount was getting into positions, pulling players, Newcastle players out of position. But Werner, it's his touch that lets him down, man. His touch is just not there. He ain't got a touch, man. He's a very frustrating player. And when you're playing against a low block like Newcastle, who had a game plan, it doesn't work with Timo. But he played Timo because he didn't want to play that fraud Lukaku up front, bruv.
But
that's the only reason.
They had that high. They were pressing so high. You'd think that Timo Werner would love it. You think there'll be so much space. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, they weren't really pressing, Jem, man. They weren't. They were pressing. They were pressing in the low block, yeah. And they did try like playing out the back, but we missed Thiago Silva at the back. You know, we didn't. Rudiger ain't a ball player. Christensen had a good game. He was very good, Christensen. There was some lovely touches he made and got himself out of trouble. But for me, I just feel like when you ain't got Thiago Silva in there, I'll tell you what happened is it's because Tuchel basically set up. I was saying to Fata during the game, because he set up with a back 4, he basically forced his hand. Like in other words, he couldn't bring Silva on because if he brings Silva on, he needs to make another 2 substitutions because he needs wing-back system.
Well, we didn't have the wing-backs, did we?
Well, the only wing-backs you had was Alonso and Sol. And, I mean, I probably would have preferred to see that. I think the gaffer got out of jail yesterday.
Yeah, I agree. It was just a moment of brilliance.
Yeah, I don't think that, if I'm being honest, I don't think the back 4
works.
But
do you know why? Because they don't offer anything offensively, Johnny. I keep telling people this. That 4 system needs, especially for Hakim Ziyech, you need someone that can overlap, and Aspie does it quite well. even though he's not great offensively, he still does it quite well. And that's why I think you need someone that he can link up with down that wing. When you ask Hakim Ziyech to get the ball and dribble and take players on and create space for himself, I don't think he's good enough to do that. I think he needs someone that he can link the play with down that wing to then create that little bit of space for him to then use his left foot. And that's where
I agree. And I was saying this, when you play Mount in the 8th position and you've got a back 4, all right, not only does it nullify Mount, it nullifies the press from up front because only Kai was really pressing. Timo did, but Ziyech and Timo, for me, the intensity wasn't there like Kai was. So you can't press Newcastle if only one player's pressing, yeah? That's the first thing. The second thing is Jorginho was nullified as well for the majority of the game. And then he had to bring on cover to try and break in between lines because Jorginho suffers when he hasn't got the wing-back options. Yeah. Because what the wing-backs do is they push forward and it allows him, instead of going sideways like with a back 4, he gets to actually play diagonal balls forward, which actually allows you to break the lines of the opposition. But Jorginho couldn't do that in the whole game. And it obviously came down to
as I say, what about Kai Havertz? We're going to finish off on Kai Havertz. He did have a great game yesterday, but he's just clutch at the moment. Isn't he?
No, but what I'll say with Kai is, and I tweeted it today, and I thought, fuck it, I'm going to land it, and I've upped the minerals. Now, I've always said he's generational. I said it before we even signed him. I knew this kid's generational, and he is.
I said it as well.
All right. So for me, it's just a matter of letting him develop and build his game. Now, the only thing I'd say is if he was going to play the centre-forward position is in games like this, because he had the game against Burnley and we struggled because we didn't take chances. But in this game, he showed that he's upped his levels with his strength and shithousery up front. And he was managing to deal with 2 centre-backs. And for me, that's now elevated him to sort of cementing his position as a number 9 for the future, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like, I'm going to say it, I don't think we need Haaland now if we've got Kai Havertz, bruv. I'm going to land it, bruv.
The only thing I would say to that, Johnny, is that we still need to see consistency from him. Like, you forget but he seems to have, when I say that, I mean in terms of first parts of the seasons, because he seems to just always get hot at the end of the seasons, and I need to see that more consistent throughout his game. Does that make sense? So,
I agree, because he's always been a second half of the season player, even in Germany.
But I think you can do it.
You've got to remember, he's young. Yeah. He was a lot younger then, and he was developing. But everyone could foresee the talent and the ability. It was about him building consistency. Now he's getting it. Like I said to everyone, I was having it out of everyone, and they're all giving me all this bangers mash waffle that Lukaku needs to be the number 9.
Where was he when he came on?
Where are you now? Where are you? All
How was he, Johnny?
Giving it bigger.
How was he when he came on?
Lukaku, bruv. Yeah, Lukaku was fucking shocking up front, bruv. When he came on, ask Fata my reaction, bruv.
He's there. Yeah,
Fata, what was my reaction when Lukaku came on, bruv?
Oh, you're angry, Johnny. You're angry. Just
so, Jem, these guys have agendas, but let me tell you something.
Up, please.
Let me tell you something.
You asked me some
don't
questions.
let this fucking troll talk.
No.
Let
me explain.
No. I was talking
I was talking to Fata. Fata, tell everyone, bruv. Tell everyone, mate.
What'd you call me? Yo, Jem, get him off, man. You hear what he said?
What are you talking about? I couldn't hear anything.
He just called me a paedophile, right? Get him off. Can't be saying
that. Don't call him that, mate. Come on, let's not be that personal.
All right, so let Fata answer, bruv, because we were sitting next to each other. Bro.
No. Like Johnny said, he was poor yesterday. Like, I don't think he should come on. I think he should stick like Mount, Havertz, and Pulisic up front.
Oh my days.
Yeah, we should have. What we should have done is
like we did against Norwich. Did you see that?
Oh my days!
The difference between yesterday's game and the Norwich game was simple. When you got Mount and Havertz and Pulisic up front, the pressing, the intensity is a next level. In this game, we didn't have that, and I told you because Mount was played in the 8, he was in between the lines. But you see, with a gaffer, the reason he plays Mount there is he might sacrifice his creative ability, bruv. Hold on a minute. He might sacrifice his creative ability and pressing from the front line, but he knows that he'll give a 10 out of 10 when it comes to ball recovery and fucking bring in the midfield and the attack together. But the problem is when you got players like Timo who haven't got a touch up front, and he's on that side. It's difficult. And on top of that, you got no wing backs. And on top of that, you got Rudiger and Sarr, who are not the best ball players. So
this stream's going to be 3 hours. Listen, this stream's going to be 3 hours, not 2 hours, right? There's too much to talk about. There's too much debate to happen, right? It's going to be 3 hours.
From day one, yeah. But Kai Havertz, you saw in the first half, yeah, he was struggling at the start because there's big defenders that were trying to beat him up and stuff. Wait. Yeah, no. He was all right. He was passing well, but he did struggle to get in the box and stuff. But listen, I love Kai Havertz, but the thing is, if you want to get the best out of Kai Havertz, you put Lukaku. Listen, I know you guys hate Lukaku, but if you put Lukaku, you just waste him and put him in the front to distract defenders. Kai Havertz, which he did when Lukaku came on. Kai Havertz had 2 shots already because Dan Burn was thinking about Lukaku, and that means that Havertz is drifting away, and the defenders forget about him. That's the reason he scored.
You're still talking about football, Nathaniel? That's a NFL tactic, isn't it?
To be a lamppost up front and be on the defenders, bro. But when you play,
hey Josh, can you help me out? Is that an NFL tactic that Nathaniel was saying?
In that game, bro.
Wait.
Let us speak.
In that game, that in that exact moment, he brought him on to basically stay on the defenders, yeah, and allow Kai to roam off. But that's only because he knew we weren't playing a pressing game. But when you play Lukaku and Kai and you want to play a pressing game with wing backs, it don't work. But with a back four, it works. Now, I keep telling everyone, a back four suits Ziyech. That's why he played, because he doesn't play him with a back three. He didn't play against Norwich, because we played the back three. And then he plays Lukaku normally. But you can't get a press out of that. So he knew that Newcastle were just going to sit back for the last 10 minutes, try and shut shop, yeah? And that's why he brought Lukaku on. And it worked. And that's just
exactly it worked. So what's the hate? What's the hate?
Lukaku had a good game. He was fucking terrible.
Look at the hate. He came on for how
he was
on for like.
No, I just.
He was on for 10 minutes. Yes, his touches. Lukaku's touches
didn't do
were bad.
Any hold-up play, bruv.
I just think we could have been.
He didn't do hold-up play.
No, he didn't.
If you want a solid front three, you look at against Norwich that we put up
Havertz and Pulisic. Yeah.
I would prefer that.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. People talking about
Pulisic can forget it. Pulisic can forget it. Like he's not getting into the team anymore because Werner provides more kind of like rotation.
Crash stops.
Hey, I don't get this. I don't get this defense for Lukaku.
And then wait, there's a reason why Werner came off, and there's a reason why Mason Mount, he was in his position in number 8, came off. Because why people tell him Mount in his position?
Werner came
then he
off.
goes in as 8.
This is hectic. Let me get a word in here.
Listen. Wait. Let me just get a word. Werner came off. Wait, Josh. Wait, declare. Wait, everyone. Werner came off. Listen, like everybody is vandalizing fucking thoughts. Right. Listen, Werner came off. Came off because they're gonna play against Lille. Like, what's the big deal? What's the big deal?
Listen, for me, Lukaku hasn't played 3-4 games. He was meant to come out like fire to try and win back.
He's been dropped for 4 games.
If he's going to sit there as some kind of decoy, we might as well put advertising on him or something, because he costs 100 million. You got to recruit some money. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard. That distracting. 100 million.
I mean,
player,
it's true though. It worked.
Declared. In that game,
didn't work.
Moment,
it did work. That's why Havertz scored a goal.
That's all it was.
Is that why Havertz scored a goal?
Listen. Havertz goal is very kind of like basic. Werner goal against Luton was better than Havertz goal. Like simple.
Like that's a weird hate for Lukaku when he's on for 10 minutes.
Anyway, Nathaniel, 1 second. I wonder if
Mike's on for longer than
Jem can have my shit, bro.
Bro, this is going to be 5 hours stream.
1 second. Josh, go. And then, go. Go on.
I'll just say quickly, the best front three on this team, and it's not even close, is Havertz, Mount, and Pulisic. And it's not even close. That's the best front three. Now, what formation we play, I guess the reason Pulisic didn't start yesterday is he's just coming back from being sick. But the best front three on this team by a long mile is Mount, Havertz, and Pulisic. Now, what I don't disagree with Nathaniel in the fact that I do think there are moments in the games where it's important to have Lukaku on the pitch for the reason you said. Like he does sort of he does sort of take a bit of attention away from people that allow other players to sort of maybe get in behind and do things like that. And there are games where I've been calling for him to, all right, maybe now it's time to bring him on, because you can see it's getting a little static. And maybe
they low blocked us. That's why.
Yeah. And with Havertz yesterday basically being the only real attacker in the front three yesterday, it was easy for those center backs to sort of
Josh, bro. Mount ain't no. Let's get it straight. Ziyech is the right winger. Mount, he's meant to be an 8, which he was against Newcastle, and he was trash. So what now?
Geezer, you're talking nonsense.
So what now?
Yeah, listen.
No.
What now?
Mount played in his position. Mount played as an 8, and he was trash, and he got subbed off. He got subbed off. Did he not get subbed off?
Stop, because you're just trying to wind people up.
No, I'm not. Who got subbed off?
I like Ziyech.
He's a troll.
No.
Who got subbed off?
Listen, I like Ziyech, but Mount has a much better connection with those three when he's playing on the right.
He's got the best chemistry of Havertz.
No, he's not. Mount can't. Mount, he doesn't waste chances. That's what he does. Mount's selfish.
Bro, like you guys are
not
so
really. I think it's Havertz and Ziyech.
No, that's stupid, bruv.
Havertz and Ziyech.
It's not.
Well, let's let no go. No. Go on, mate. What do you want to say? No. You gonna talk?
No.
Hello.
The guy's only there to listen.
Message him.
But Jem, big up to the panel. It's a massive privilege to be on the channel and so forth, and and I think Chelsea just need the points in it, because you need to secure the 3rd place, and you can't always win pretty in the Premier League, because you always have to earn your money, haven't you? So that's the thing.
Yeah, it's a big 3 points.
Big up.
We can't always play great. We can't always.
Celebration tells you how big the game is.
Don't get me wrong. I keep saying.
Yeah, no question. Yeah.
People don't think it's a smash and grab, but I think Newcastle had the better chances in the game. I think
they should have had a penalty, Jem.
Well, yeah, but we only had 3 shots on target in 90 minutes, and we had 7 That's poor.
VAR looked at it.
Yeah, what the heck was Chalobah doing, man? Why is he grabbing someone? What's he thinking?
Do you remember I said to you, fuck, my hands were in my head, bruv.
Yeah.
When that happened, that was right in front.
Oh yeah, I saw Johnny's face.
I was fucking going mad, because I thought, shit, VAR's gonna come in here and they're gonna give it.
Havertz almost cost us a game. It was a red card. It was a red card, by the way.
It was a red card. He didn't throw his elbow.
I saw Johnny, man. He looked like some MI5 agent.
So we got this kind of donation from Frostmith. Thank you to you. He said Clasriff is the type of guy who has a computer, uses condom to prevent a virus.
No. Listen. You speak with me for 10-20 minutes. You'll know what I'm trying to say. There's like 10-15 people. Like everybody's jumping over each other.
Clasriff's been right on a couple of things. I'm not going to lie. Don't diss Clasriff. He has been right.
Listen, Kai Havertz. He's generational talent. He's the one.
No. You're just overhyping it. Just calm down.
Listen.
Relax.
No. Wait, there's certain people that call people hype and stuff, but Kai generational Havertz, he should have his face outside. Mate. Kai should have his face on the outside of Chelsea, man. He should be the one.
Was it a great goal? Nathan Raniel, was it a good goal? Was it a good goal?
It was a world class goal. One of the goals of the season.
What about the Werner goal against Newcastle? What about Werner goal against Newcastle?
No one else is scoring that. Wait, in our team, who else is scoring that? Ziyech is not scoring. No. Let me finish. Ziyech isn't scoring that, I don't think. Mount's not scoring that. Werner's definitely not scoring that.
He scored against Newton.
He scored against
Newton, bro. Like, that was a more difficult goal. And listen, it was a pinpoint, pass. And the reason, listen, the reason Kai Havertz could control it, because of cloudy weather and stormy weather. The storm was opposite of football. So he could control it. Even if he didn't control it, the ball would still be on his foot and he would still score a goal. But Werner goal against Newcastle was much more difficult because it was too much height, it was too much above in the air, and he had to touch it and then score it. So, for example, last team in Lou's team, everybody said that Werner goal was like very basic. So if Werner goal was very basic, any academy players can do it. You all people were saying it, right? So Kai Havertz goal was basic too.
Right, well, Patrick, you're talking nonsense now, mate. I'm not having that.
No, I'm not talking nonsense. It's just a
goal
point.
That he scored yesterday, to bring that ball down, not only bring the ball down, but his next touch was a shot. And then to put it in the bottom corner like the way he did.
He brought it down with his left foot and finished it with his left foot.
But everybody said that's a basic goal.
Of the goal from the Newcastle away fan videoed it, yeah? All right? And when you look at it in full motion, it looks like he doesn't even have 2 touches, bruv. It looks like he's literally just tapped it. But when you slow it down from that angle, from the away end, you see the 2 touches so quick. And that is
it was a bit cloudy. It was the weather.
Camp,
you were there right? You were in the bridge, right? What was the weather?
What's the weather got to do with it, bro?
Yeah, because it was wind, and the ball was too slow to go. Even if he didn't touch it, the ball would still be on his foot, and he would score.
Anyway,
it was this Jorginho.
Lazarus, bro.
Grey Wolves.
I'm just being honest.
You're talking nonsense.
No. Listen, Luton goal. What about Luton goal? Werner Luton goal. Talk about that.
Werner's trash. Werner's trash. Sell Werner, man. This guy's trash.
How can that be trash? And this is better.
No. I don't hear it.
Werner has been poo the last 2 games. He's been absolutely atrocious.
The last 2 games.
No.
He's been poo his whole career.
He cannot play every single game and give a 10 out of 10.
Try to back Werner a bit.
Listen. I remember Ronaldo goal against Juventus against Juventus for Real Madrid, and then after two weeks, Gareth Bale scoring the same kind of a goal against. So Werner scored an amazing goal against Luton, and then Kai Havertz doing the same thing against Newcastle.
Werner couldn't create splash in the puddle. Werner couldn't create splash in the puddle, man.
Bro, before you call Timo Werner, call it Sir Timo Werner. Simple. The guy is our number 1 choice of an attacker.
I'm sorry, mate. It's Pulisic, Mount, and Havertz.
You can forget about Pulisic, though. You can forget about Pulisic.
Why?
Leave by Ziyech. Look at this dumbass. Look at this dumbass.
It was wrong lineup yesterday. I'll admit it was wrong.
Don't worry.
The gaffer got away with it yesterday. He got away with it. He absolutely got away with it, and that's why he celebrated the way he did.
Bro, you're wilding, man.
Yeah, go away with it.
Listen, Sarr and Mason Mount was playing alongside Werner. So how can Werner perform?
Yeah, and Mount every time he gets the ball,
it's not an excuse. He's been bad for 18 months. Come on.
Right. 18 months, 27 goal appearance. What Kai Havertz is doing right now, Werner has done it when he was 22 for Leipzig and Stuttgart. He has already done it. His age is 26 right now.
Yeah, but he ain't doing it for Chelsea, and Kai
his age is 20. He's not going to be doing those funny kind of, elegant touches. He's not a fire.
22, man. 22. He's already clear.
We are expecting something different from Kai. Timo Werner. More of like a tempo, more of like bringing players into.
I'll have to mute you. Strip Bear for the donation. Breakfast wants Kylie and Kendall Jenner to buy Chelsea. Thank you for the donation on that one. Nick Blue, what do you want to say, mate?
Yeah, if this young not sure have to calm down, especially Klaslow, calm down a little. Great game because we won, and for the morale is more. I was there today, and I did see Checker Marina like the Johnny's video. That was a great video, Johnny.
Nice one.
Yeah, brilliant. I love that. The first half we wasn't very good because Newcastle were they defended.
Sorry.
He talk, man. What's wrong with you? Yeah.
No, sorry.
First half wasn't very good. No shot on target. Because of Newcastle's great defending. Don't forget they were up for 10 before they came yesterday.
Yeah. They're in form.
They haven't lost in 9 games.
Yeah, 9 games, whatever. Anyway, second half, carried on the same way till the last 10-15 minutes when we started to play. And I thought, Rudiger was great as usual. I know Johnny didn't pass it too much, but he does his job. Silva was having the rest, so Rudiger can't do his job. Silva be ready for Wednesday. That's why. But
respect Rudiger, man. Rudiger needs a new contract. Did you see the performance?
I don't like other people.
Nathan, he does, man. He's been phenomenal, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Best defender in the
does,
Prem.
bro.
If he says he's future captain, I know Johnny wants Mason Mount, but if Rudiger signs that contract,
Johnny's done, man. He's not serious himself. He's not serious himself. He puts Mount as a captain. Rudiger's a captain, man.
No, Mount is the future captain.
Welcome for your boy, man. You didn't answer my team, fam.
Anyway, yeah, and that Jorginho pass, world-class pass to a world-class player. I can see Havertz being our next Hazard. You know, he's unbelievable. For me, if you don't pass
you guys are so reactionaries. Oh my god. You guys are funny.
Werner, I'm afraid to say Werner's going to go in the summer. He will be the first player to go because he can't do it. He's too weak. He doesn't do nothing right. So I love Werner.
Let's see who goes.
I don't even like him anymore. People saying love Werner. Why would you have a player that continuously ruins our attack? Continuously ruins our attack.
Wait. The first 60 minutes, if you compare Werner, Havertz, and Mason Mount, Werner was more productive.
Man played a brilliant pass to him. Man played a brilliant pass to Werner, and Werner ruins it with his touch, man. This guy's touch is
He's a bit like Lukaku. He's touching.
That was
he's not.
No. The weather was too bad. The weather was too bad.
Nathaniel, how do you make a point about Werner like that and then
Nathaniel, man, I agree, bro. Like Werner's a hindrance, man. He has a technical ability.
Get Lukaku, get Werner, and see you later.
Let Nono speak.
You can back out. This is about Mount Havertz and Werner. You can just back out.
Let him finish.
You're not getting any chance.
Let him finish.
This is about Werner, Mason Mount, and Havertz. Pulisic and Lukaku can back out. I'm not having Lukaku and Pulisic.
I go on, Nono.
Let me finish.
No, finish.
Let me finish. Yeah.
Jim. As I was saying that Werner's trash, man. You should cash in on that guy. I don't know what he offers. Is he a footballer or anything, bro? Because man's a
27 goals
man,
and assists.
to be honest.
Shut up, Pazra.
Just has nothing about him. He can't score. He doesn't look threatening either. I just don't get the hype.
Who's your favorite player? Who's your favorite player?
Let that guy finish.
Who do you like? Who do you like?
Guys,
let that guy finish.
Let me finish, rude boy.
What's your?
I haven't even finished my point.
Wait, man.
You young,
Klasref, man.
Forget Klasref. Let me talk.
I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm just like
you're Arsenal fan.
Go
to fucking Arsenal.
Why are we talking about Timo Werner, guys?
Nick Blue, we're mates, man. I thought you were my mate.
How are you,
mate, Nick?
Guys, I want to.
I'm not any.
Go on, Nick, finish your point. Go on.
Let me finish my fucking point. Yeah, we have to mention Thomas Tuchel because, he showed how much it means to him, this club. I just hope we get that owner as soon as possible because if we hang on too long, it's going to be very big problems. Even worse than that.
I agree.
Yeah, that's what we need.
A winger, we're going to be.
I'm hoping it's Nick Kante, but
no, I don't want him.
Yeah, but who we're going to have, Johnny?
It's dodgy, man.
Someone who says they want the fans on the board is dodgy, mate. That's just PR stunt, bruv.
Yeah, he's just trying
to. He's fat as well, man.
He hasn't got the money or nothing anyway. So, but
he's got the minerals, bruv.
As long as they're not American,
he ain't got a vibranium. He ain't got a vibranium, man.
No, I don't want any American. Man. That's all.
But listen, Mount, like Johnny said, he'll never be captain at Chelsea. Reece James before him, Ziyech before him. Rudiger before him.
Nick Blue.
Because
it's just
man, you better get your boots on. Man's never going to be in the team in the next 2 years. You better get your boots on, mate. Yeah, Johnny, get your boots on. Get your boots on. You're an MI5 agent. You're an MI5 agent in the Stamford Bridge. You're like an MI5 agent. I saw your face. Yeah, get out.
I just want to say this, bruv. Yeah,
get out, man.
I think you got to take into serious consideration that everything going around the club. Outside the club has affected every single player and the manager.
Really?
Shut up, Nathaniel, bruv.
Shut up for a second, bruv. Why are you going at Johnny? Why is he saying that Johnny hasn't said anything?
It's just a troll, bruv. Right. I wanna say this, that everything going on around outside the club is clearly affecting the players. The performance showed everyone that. Yesterday was so lethargic, slow, no intensity. for a big game of this magnitude, what it meant. And the celebrations from not only the players, but the manager and the gaffer himself tells you how difficult it is right now, because they don't know what's going on. No one has a clue what is happening, right? The gaffer don't know nothing. All he knows is, I need to get to a game, I'm going to prepare for the game, and I want to win the game. And that is it, all right? And he will prepare to play as best as possible. But when you got this has never happened in the history of football, all right? I want to remind everyone, this has never happened in the history of football. No, a club can be sold, an owner can put a club up for sale, all right? And there's a bit of uncertainty, but it's not like that. This is a whole different situation. This is a sanctioning. This is we don't even know if we can get to games.
No, we can't. No more tickets, Johnny. For
right, and fans can't go and get tickets and go and support their club. You know, this is a serious matter right now. And every player on that pitch yesterday, whether you rate them highly or lowly or whatever, I couldn't give a fuck. And I'll tell you why. Because every single player on that pitch performed to the best of their ability in that moment in time with everything going on. And they played for the badge. Whether you like the players or not, all right? Yeah, they came on and they performed for our side and they got the win. And that is what mattered, all right? And the amount of media that were outside the bridge, I cannot tell you. It was ridiculous, And they are the real poison. They are the crooks. They're the ones twisting and making the agenda about Chelsea, And the UK government, all right, fuck them all. Fuck NATO, fuck Putin, fuck Piers Morgan, fuck Bryant, fuck Liverpool, fuck Arsenal, fuck Man United, because this doesn't happen to any one of them lot. It only happens to Chelsea Football Club. And I'm done with it, bruv. And Roman Abramovich deserves his statue outside the bridge, bruv. He deserves that statue outside the bridge because we chant his name, Let's have it right. We chant his name.
You can't do it. You can't chant his name now.
Shut up, bro.
You can't chant his name now. Look, it's big as
you can't chant his name.
You can't chant his name,
bro.
Because he's involved in the war
for the club.
It's a war, man. You can't chant someone's name. That's involved with Putin. You can't chant his name.
Shut up, bruv. All right. We sing his name because of what he's done for Chelsea Football Club. Because Roman has built Chelsea to where it is. He's built the academy. Players like Reece James, Mason Mount, Cho, Trevor, all the players from the youth, they've only come because of Roman. Roman built that academy, bruv. He built everything that we have today. So when we chant his name, we chant it because of that. We don't chant it because of what he's done in his outside life, bruv.
Jim, can I have 1 point?
And I want to land this one as well. I want to land this one. The UK government, bruv. Okay, shut up, bruv. The UK government, right? Let's have it right. They weren't moaning about Roman Abramovich's so-called blood money when he pumped it into the country, put money into charity, into the NHS, into the country, taxes. They didn't moan about it then. They've been after Roman Abramovich for a long time, hence his visa, right? And this is the moment. This is the best moment and opportunity for the UK government to get Roman Abramovich out. And the reason they want to get him out is because that owner is not an ally to the UK because of Russia. The Saudi owners are allies to the United Kingdom, all right, and NATO. Whether you like it or not, that is the bottom line. That's why no one else is getting any of this. We are the only club getting it. And they are the fucking minerals I'm spitting there. Man, so take it how you want and drink it
That's
in,
true.
All right?
But there's a war going on.
You sing
there's bigger
his
causes.
Name,
you can't sing his name now, though, during the war.
Yes, you sing his name,
during a dodgy time like this. Do you know his relations?
Big up, Jim. I've got to go, geezer. Big up.
He's waffling maple syrup. That's what you're doing. Because you know his relations to Putin. You even know. So first of all, Johnny doesn't even know his relations to Putin. It could be deeper than we actually think. And second of all, you could be chanting a guy who's done bad things. So first of all, during a war that's going on in
Ukraine, did you say could it be Nathaniel?
There's no evidence to support that, Nathaniel.
During a war, you can't be chanting a guy who's in question.
What are you talking about, Nathaniel?
No,
you're not even sure yourself, Nathaniel.
Nathaniel is spitting facts.
Wait.
Do you understand what's going on? You just saying there's a war. Do you know how many wars there's been?
The proper Chelsea.
Do you know how many wars are going on there, Nathaniel?
There's loads.
Bro, you're still in school. You're still free. Have you done history? Have you done anything, bro? You're talking
yeah,
like,
I have.
Oh, yeah, there could be. All right, so how many wars are going on at the moment then, bro?
There's loads going on.
Loads. You name like a couple of them? Just go through them, bro.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Those wars have to do with Britain, though.
Wait, Saudi Arabia has loads, but the government want to bring up. I'm not going to go political, but Johnny can't just say. Johnny can't just say it's an agenda against Chelsea when there's bigger things going on in the world right now. He can't just be going, "Oh, it's Chelsea, it's Chelsea." He needs to calm down about
Chelsea's bigger than Roman, yeah? You would agree with that?
No, I mean, from another point, I agree that Roman Abramovich, if it's the case that is involved with putting whatever, that he gets sanctioned, and they have sanctioned him. But what they've decided to do after that incident, freezing our credit cards, stopping this, stopping that, isn't all about Roman Abramovich now. It has gone to Chelsea Football Club.
And then Jem, all the stupid proper Chelsea people in the chat saying shut up, but in Ukraine, people are going through deep stuff, and you're talking about Roman Abramovich. It's Chelsea's fault.
Nathaniel, but you're not missing it. They bought
What's
politics.
that have to do with Chelsea Football Club?
Exactly. They bought politics to Chelsea Football Club. Yeah,
that's true.
Get it right. They decided to bring politics to Chelsea Football Club at the end of the day, and now everyone's using that politics as an excuse to why Chelsea can't do certain things. Politics. That is the truth behind it. They punished Roman. Roman was never coming to this country, and it hasn't been coming to this country for a while anyway. The only other punishment that they could have given him is what they've done recently, which is to freeze his accounts so that he can't basically, fund Chelsea anymore, right? Which he's agreed to sell. That is more big punishment than I don't think. The punishment that he must be going through, knowing that he's not only going to be losing 3 billion, but he's letting go of his football club that he genuinely loves. Yeah. What more punishment do you want? Then you start saying to the football club, right? This is the other thing. You didn't turn around and say to the football club, "Oh, do you know what? We're going to let you stay competitive. We're going to keep you going. This is a cultural stadium. Chelsea is a British cultural stadium. It's not Roman Abramovich. It's been here before Roman Abramovich, right? They're going to let you be able to do this. We're going to let you be able to do that, this, that, and the other. And then a day later, they decide to freeze all our credit cards and stop all our accounts from doing anything. Where is that allowing us to be competitive? Where is that allowing us to continue, getting through this saga until we get an owner? When Chelsea Football Club are coming to saying to the government, this is how much it's costing us. Again,
that's true.
And they're capping us on $500,000, and we need 900 grand, which they've only.
You're right. You're right. The government, to an extent, you're right. The government, to an extent, have done us dirty.
Up on. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the government has no personal problem with Chelsea. There are more than 400. Listen, Nathaniel, stop it. Let me talk now. There's more than 400 professional clubs in England. They have nothing personal with Chelsea Football Club. The problem is that Roman is not agreeing to anything. He wants the money, and that's basic. And his proposition is give it to charity in Ukraine. Just let me come
to 2 weeks ago.
Listen. His deal is give 3 million or 2 billion or 3 billion to charity in Ukraine. But that Ukraine is not Ukraine anymore. That's Russia. And those money going to those people would ultimately go back to Putin because of taxes and everything. So his proposition is not good enough. So now he just needs to give up on his allowance. He wants charity. Yeah, I'm sure about that. Yeah.
No, wait. Are you sure?
Anyway, can I go to Josh? Because I'm going to finish off in a bit. Josh, any last words, mate? Because I need to go anyway. Is there anything you want to say?
Well, Ukraine is not Ukraine anymore. It's going to be Russia. So the money is going to go back to
tell us what's going on with the Kardashians and keep it at that. Don't worry about it.
A big 3 points.
Listen, Johnny's waffled. Now you're waffled.
Daniel, I asked Josh, and then you're talking again. Josh, what are you saying?
Yeah, man. A big 3 points yesterday. We move on, man. I don't want to get into the weeds, man.
Nah,
thanks for having me, John.
Yeah, Declared. What are you saying?
What can I say? Everyone's just saying crazy stuff. There's massive hypocrisy. People don't know. Hyundai's still selling cars and they're pulling out. They're still selling cars in Russia. The government's still buying gas and everything. Gas prices gone up. But the performance yesterday wasn't that great. I expected them, like I said, pre-match. I wanted them to fire up. I wanted to come out. It's us against the world. But it was a good snatch and grab win. And I thought we weren't getting nothing out of the game till a great goal. Mm. And I don't know how people can still talk about Lukaku. He's done, mate. Lukaku, Werner.
It's us against the world. How's Lukaku done?
He's
helped us.
Lukaku's done.
To get the goal.
Exactly. I'm not going to support Lukaku anymore.
Oh, wait,
hold up.
Declare, do you waffle? You said, it's not us against the world, it's us against the government.
I can buy some waffles off you, that's how much you waffle. Sell to the chat too. I've got to say, about the formation, I'm not a massive fan. Newcastle actually, tactically, were doing well to close us down. I kind of don't want to see it again. I don't want to be forced to. I'd rather go the three in the back. If Ziyech doesn't turn up, if the midfield doesn't turn up, it doesn't work, it doesn't click. I think people got us on that tactically. So I hope we get players back so we can keep winning, and that's it. And I hope a new owner comes in as well, because it's just a headache every day.
You yourself said it's us against the world. How's it us against the world? It's against the government. It's not the world, whole world.
It's us against the world.
Anyway, guys, make sure that we smash the like button, subscribe to
we're all free, Nathaniel,
as well. I have got.
You don't know anything.
I've got to shoot anyway because I've got to head out anyway. But listen, big up everyone. Chelsea got the big 3 points. That's the most important thing. Wasn't the greatest performance, as we've all been saying today on the show. We are doing the Lille versus Chelsea preview. It might not be tomorrow. If it's tomorrow, it'll be like late afternoon. If not, it will be Wednesday around 12 o'clock. So we'll be doing that. I'll also be bringing up any news in regards to Roman, Chelsea, where we stand with the owners. I think the deadline day, as we know, is this week as well. So there's so much going on at our football club that we need to get into as well. But before you leave, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well, and enjoy the rest of your days. Take care, and we'll be back very soon. Peace out, guys.